Good morning, friends. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's having a nice Thanksgiving time off here, a nice break. I know that for us here at the house, it's been a busy few days of, fixing things up, cooking big meals, getting the house ready for Christmas, all that kind of stuff. So lots of things going on around here. Hope the same is exciting going on for you. It's possible this is going to be a solo show. Uh, as far as I can tell, every single person in this house but me is out like a light, like fully asleep, zonked. So this could work out well because there's something I want to do for Kate that I don't necessarily want her to be in here for, but you guys can enjoy it because she doesn't watch this show. So we're good. Kate doesn't watch this show. As far as me, I got a ton of things I've been reading lately, so I'll talk about some of that stuff. A ton of good shows I've been watching lately, so I want to talk about some of that stuff. And then, of course, I got some purchases from Black Friday and just before. I want to share some of that stuff. So lots of cool stuff. Oh, and I got a gift in the mail the other day. This came from Paul Cook, 2815, one of the big lantern fame for our community, and he was a big part of C3, the Comics Curing Cancer event from, it's been almost 3 weeks now, 4 weeks. And he sent me a little gift just as like a thanks for contributing, thanks for being part of the event. He sent me a little gift, and it's this Black Adam set here. And it looks like my Wi-Fi is getting a little slow. I don't understand what's going on this morning with my Wi-Fi, but it's been sluggish today. So hopefully we'll make a meal of this faster. But it's a 3-volume set with this amazing hardcover. You've got Black Adam, Rise and Fall of the Empire. You got Shazam, Volume 1 from Jeff Johns. And you've got Black Adam JSA Black Rain. All 3 trades in this cool hardcover release for the Black Adam film. And that just it slides right in there. So this is an awesome gift from Paul, and a huge thank you to you for sending this to me, man. So I'm going to read this, and I'm probably going to send it back out into the community to somebody so that they can enjoy this incredible gift as well. We'll keep spreading that around. So make sure that was right there in the background. Got a bunch of friends in the chat, so let's say hello to all y'all. I got the captain himself. What's going on, Steve? Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holiday weekend. Hope everything's going well with you and Smiley Tori. Yeah, Coach Vic in the chat. What's going on, Coach? How's it going this morning? Don't know if you were watching any of that World Cup action. I know it's a European football, so maybe not as interesting to you, but everybody I saw was talking about it, even though I wasn't watching it. We got Kevin from Entropy and Comics, my neighbor to the north. Good to see you, sir. How are you? We got Jeff in the chat. He says, greeting chatters. What's going on, Jeff? How are things? Let me take another little sip here from the head of Groot. Speaking of which, my daughters and I watched, we had been a little lazy on catching up on some Marvel stuff, but we ended up watching all of the Baby Groot short films, which are hilarious. And then we watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. So we had a whole Guardians night last night. A ton of Groot going on around here last night, and all of it very enjoyable. Oh, Coach Vic likes it all. My man Bueller, I hope your Thanksgiving went well. I know you were with a lot of your family, and I hope that went well because I know that you were very happy to spend time with some of them for the holidays this year. Whoop, and I got somebody in the chat I got to put in timeout. Goodbye. What was going on this morning? Ka-chung. What is going on? He and I were talking TV shows last night because he's trying to get me to watch Andor. And I pitched it to my wife last night, but she's been on a fantasy TV kick lately. We've been watching Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. And just that's been absorbing all of our time. We've only got, I think, 3 or 4 episodes left of House of the Dragon, and we finished off Rings of Power. So we've basically caught up on those two, almost done. But she's been absolutely obsessed. She's been super into it. What is going on, Michael? Good morning to you. How are things? All right, so I'm going to start with my purchases, because I purchased some things that I'm really excited about. Let me slide Groot over here for a second. And one of them I posted on Instagram the other day, and I'll share with all of you who are not necessarily Instagram people. And I get it. Not every social media is for everybody. So I got this book called The Art of John Byrne. And it's hilariously called Volume 1, but there was no Volume 2 ever produced. It's in like mid-grade shape. There's definitely some smudgy dirt kind of quality to this, but I'd never seen this before. And what I really was excited about was that's his I think that's his signature right there on page 1 in this Out of My Head. He's got drawings of Superman. He's got drawings of all of your favorite mutants, including some really cool Wolverine sketches and stuff in here. Really, really great. Some interview discussions of him and his connection to X-Men and Marvel in general, and of course, Fantastic Four. So there's some really great stuff. And I tried to share a sample of all of it in there so that people could kind of like check it out, including there are some like DC characters like Superman thrown in there as well. But I thought it was just really, really there's Batman. A really cool way to like appreciate his work. And then it ends with a sort of silent comic, a series about an astronaut coming to Earth or another planet and finding this beautiful, scantily or not clad woman, huntress lady, and then deciding what to do with her and him in the future. And so very, very like interesting science fiction story done all in stills, no words at all. Gore Vidal might be familiar with this volume. So again, it's the work of The Art of John Byrne, Volume 1. And really, really a cool book. And I posted some pictures if you want to see them up close. And if you want to guess whether or not that John Byrne signature is real or not, I think it is. And that's mainly why I bought it. But for $20 at my shop, there was no way I was going to let this stick there. There's just no way. This was coming home with me in a big way. So I bought that. I got some other friends in the chat here, so let me scroll back up because I don't want to miss anybody. I got Sharon. Live with 2 YouTubers. I'm going to be debating with Sharon in about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Phoenix versus Dr. Fate. And I know she's going to like rally you in the chat if you haven't voted yet. Obviously, I'm on the Phoenix side, not on the Dr. Fate side. But Rena and Sharon are vying for the Dr. Fate side. But really, it's just going to be a fun chance to chat. So make sure you're subscribed to the Mr. Comics 89 YouTube channel. That's where you want to be subscribed because that's where we're going to do the actual show. I'm worried. Here's the thing. I'm worried that a ton of people are voting. Like over 200 people have voted. Amazing number of people have voted. I'm worried that we're only going to get like a small group in the chat on the day of the show. So I'm trying to make sure that people know to show up, to be there for the fun silliness of it all, because these are the fun conversations that make comic book collecting a blast. Who would win, Hulk or Wolverine? This is the kind of fun stuff. And I really want Matt to get the reward for all the hard work he's been putting in, although really Sharon and I, we're putting in a lot of work too. And there he is. There's the guy, Mr. Comics 89. So click his name if you can, or just type in Mr. Comics 89 in your phone or whatever, and subscribe over there just so that you are there for the show on the 12th of December. I just don't want anybody to miss out on it. We got Aggressively Relaxing. What is going on, sir? Good to see you. I know it's that we did it. We made it. We survived. I wasn't gonna say I don't believe you, Sharon. I don't believe you. Let's see. So people talking about what they had for Thanksgiving, who was with their family, what things they did. So yeah, hope you had not too much to eat, but you're doing okay after. Lots of food. What is up, Super Russ 9000? I know that he's going to be there. He's going to be watching live. So you want to make sure you're following this guy right here, Matt, Mr. Comics 89. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell so that you're there, right? So that you're there to participate live and leave your comments live. Anyways, let's get back to what I all purchased here. I purchased a bunch of these sort of magazine size, 80s tomes. And this is one that I had never seen before. And my LCS just threw it in for free. It's the Uncanny X-Men Super Activity Book with puzzles, games, and word games and more. So you can get like, what kind of a storm is Storm caught in? A bad weather word web with Storm. You can get Wolverine's being attacked by the letter B. What? I thought this was hilarious. Magneto is trying to scramble the letters. So I got this activity book. My LCS was like, no, you're buying a bunch of stuff. They just threw this in for free. I don't know if there's a publishing date. Let's see here. 1983. Written and drawn by Owen McCarron. I thought this was hilarious. None of the pages have been done. Nothing's been done in this super activity book. But I thought it was just amazing. So I was like, yeah, I've got to get this. So this is another item that I snagged at my shop. What's up, Comics by the Bay? I've been seeing him everywhere in great chats. Just it's been so cool to find another cool community member doing fun stuff. He says, I'm just stopping in for real quick. Now I'm back to the wife chores. That's what I'm taking a break from because we've been doing a lot of that around here for sure. What's up, Bobby DeLeghetto? He's been slaying over on Instagram, making me laugh all the time. Much appreciated. See, I don't know that I can pronounce it. But this is the word, right, that you had to say from the Bible. This is the word that you had to say to prove that you were Christian, right? This was the word. I can't. Shibboleth. I'll do my best. Let's see here. The Groot mug. Man, we watched all the Baby Groot. I highly recommend sit down with your family if you've got kids and you haven't watched the little Baby Groot. There are 5 of them. They're all 5 minutes long each, so it's less than a half an hour. We were laughing so hard. Charlie and my wife were dying. They thought the Baby Groot shorts were amazing, and they are. They're hilarious. Kate and I were laughing at them laughing so hard. It was really enjoyable. What is up, Nick from Comic Culture Station to you, sir? How are you doing today? Let's see here. Oh, the girls are still asleep. Absolutely. I'm the first one up. Absolutely. What is up, Carrie, in the chat? What's going on, Carrie? Good to see you. Let's see here. I set my own chore breaks. There you go. There you go. Yeah, so if you didn't see the Baby Groot shorts over on the Disney Plus channel, if you're paying for Disney Plus and you haven't watched them, I can't recommend them enough. They are hilarious. If you want like a 30-minute chore break with your kids or whatever, something fun to watch after dinner or before dessert or whatever, it's a perfect pick. We laughed a ton. And the holiday special was also very entertaining, but I think we actually might have liked the Baby Groot shorts even more. That's where we are. Okay, so that was 2. What's up, Southern Comic Geek? What is going on, Jason? Good to see you, sir. Next on my list is the big book that I bought because it's in absolutely amazing shape. And I'm not even taking it out of the bag anymore. Just trust me that this is a pristine first print of the New Mutants graphic novel, the first appearance of a lot of these key New Mutants characters. This is a book I've never owned. I've never had a copy of this. And it is a key because it's those first appearances for a lot of these characters. But it's a graphic novel. So what happens is the second it gets read, the spine tends to get all tore up. But look how beautiful the spine is on this thing. It is absolutely a stunner. Just beautiful copy of a really important Chris Claremont book that I've just never had in the collection. And I've been always on the watch for one. And when I saw my LCS had a ton of these large, magazine size graphic novels for sale, I said, give me the highest grade copy of this. And then a bunch of, he threw in a bunch of others that I went after as well. But this was the big purchase for me. And this can be quite an expensive book in a high grade, especially a slabbed copy. But I was very pleased to get this version one. It's a great book, and Nick's looks like he's after it too. I've been collecting the New Mutants run because it's a simple 100 issue run, and I've got almost all the keys. I was just missing this particular book right here, and absolutely a phenomenal read because I've read it digitally, but I've never actually had a copy to own. And plus, I love this, and I've got a whole stack of the other ones that I own. But these Marvel graphic novels, I hate storing them because they're so freaking big. But I just love that. They are absolutely phenomenal. So there you go. That's my big purchase. And I got, what is up, Jack DeMayo, Mr. Bolo? What is going on? How are you doing this morning? Yeah, just having a little something to drink this morning. A little sharing some comics that we purchased. And I'm gonna, I should probably pause this list here. I got one thing to do real quick. So tomorrow is Kate's birthday, my oldest daughter. And I bought 2 comics for her at my Black Friday sale at my local comic shop. So yeah, this is what made me think of it, Carrie. Thanks for reminding me. And my LCS had all of their trades for 50% off. All of them. Brand new trades, 50% off. So I went and got a couple that I knew Kate would love, and I'm going to wrap them up here. I got a little bag for happy birthday. She's totally asleep, and she doesn't watch this show, so I can spoil it right now. Firstly, she absolutely loves Stranger Things. And this is the new trade that just dropped, I think, last week. Holiday specials. It's like a Christmassy themed Stranger Things storyline. Kate will be 15 years old. Yeah, almost driving age. We are scared and excited for this new event. So I'm going to tuck that one in there. I think she's got all the other ones. These are from Dark Horse Comics. I think she's got all the other ones. So get that one down inside. The other thing I got is we've been enjoying, or I should say the girls and I, most of us have been enjoying the DC has been releasing these novel size. This is like a book size, right? Not graphic novel size. The graphic novels are much bigger. These DC stories for like teen or tweenagers that are focused on different key characters early in this. We've read the one about Mira. We've read the one about, Catwoman. We've read the one about Starfire. We've read a bunch of them. And this is a new one that's come out recently. So these are like perfect for those kids that want to like get books that are more about their age group and not necessarily about the costumed adult heroes. So this is a Dick Grayson storyline called The Lost Carnival. The team is Michael Morissetti and Sass Millidge. And these are very entertaining. And you can usually find a character you like. Like, they just released a Zatanna one. They're really, really cool. And you get the full story inside. Some really great, different styled artwork, not your typical kind of stuff. And this one is all about one of Kate's favorite characters, Dick Grayson, one of my favorites as well. She likes the original Robin, big fan. Loved him and, of course, the animated series. So I thought this would be a really cool book that she would really enjoy. So there you go. There's the 2 books I got for Kate at the comic shop. Let me stuff some paper in here. Don't want her to know what's in there. All right. Yeah. She's going to never watch this, so I don't have to worry about it. I just ruined it for her, but she's not going to watch it. I'm going to move Black Adam back there a little bit. And there we go. Happy birthday, Kate. And I missed some comments in the chat. Bolo says, love it. Trying to find some ways to bring storage solutions for collectors as we launch heavy metal. Those magazine-sized books are just a real challenge. And I've basically decided I like reading them more in a hardcover anyway. So when it comes to DC, I'm not even buying those black label wide books anymore. I'm just buying the hardcovers, reading them. And if I love them, keeping it. And if I don't, giving them away to people that will enjoy them. Let's see here. She's not, because I know her phone is not allowed in her bedroom. It's down the hall, and she has not been out of her bedroom. Yeah. So unless she jumped on it the second I jumped on the show, could be. Let's see here. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. So Nick has read Lost Carnival because I haven't read it. I've read the Jessica Cruz one, the Unearthed, the Green Lantern one. I've read the Catwoman one, and I've read one other. We have about 4 or 5 of them, and really just enjoyed them. Yeah, they're pretty close in age. We can work on like a Game of Thrones marriage pact. Is that what you're thinking? What's up, Johnny 5 Alive? Good morning, sir. And Bronze Page is in here too. What is going on? Good to see you. Hello, Bronze Page. Wait a second. It's J Hood's birthday tomorrow too? I didn't know that. Hey, there you go. Jamie and Kate, birthday twins. Birthday twinsies. Yeah, so tomorrow's Kate's birthday. My wife's got a little excursion that she wants to do with her. I'm cooking a big fancy Hawaiian bread French toast with bacon breakfast for her. So we got a lot of little fun things going on with caters for tomorrow for her birthday. And then I think she's going out with her friends today. So she's got a whole birthday weekend thing going. Occasionally her birthday lands on Thanksgiving, and so it's a little bit of a challenge. But it's been a kind of fun, like, oh, hey, you get to see everybody right around your birthday. So they're birthday neighbors. They can be birthday neighbors. All right, so I bought one other graphic novel sized book, and it's one that I always seem to buy again and again and again. It's that one right there. So that is a signed Claremont book that is the 5th print. This is a first print in a really nice high grade. I mean, I would say this could be a 8.5, 9.0, somewhere in that range, 9.2 if I got lucky. A really nice version. I have a lower grade. I think this is the lower grade. Yeah, this is the lower grade copy. I have maybe a 5 or a 6. This one, first prints. This is probably, if I had to pick one X-Men comic, it would probably be God Loves, Man Kills, which is kind of loosely the basis of the second X-Men movie that Hugh Jackman did, one of his best ones. Really just a powerful comic. And yeah, so this is my second copy of this book in a first print. I warn you that the first print, second, third, fourth, fifth, they all look the same. You got to open them up and check on that first page. It'll tell you what printing it is, because that's pivotal. Knowing which printing you're buying is a very important thing when buying this book. So make sure you check. Just a little bit of a warning for you if you're looking for this iconic magazine, Marvel graphic novel number 5 versus this one is Marvel graphic novel number 4. Just make sure you're checking your printings. They're on the inside in the publication page, so you can check and be double sure. Right. So yeah, I've got now 3 copies of this book, 2 first prints and a 5th print. But mostly I bought the 5th print because it's that book and it's signed by Chris Claremont. So I had to get it, had to buy it. Let's see. Did I miss anybody else? A marriage pact. Yeah. I mean, hey, Kate has 0 interest in girls. He's way too obsessed with his YouTube channel. And Kate doesn't have a ton of interest in boys. She's way too obsessed with volleyball right now. It's perfect. They're doing it right. They're doing teenage correctly. Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate that, sir. Very nice of you. What is going on? Actual Dracula in the chat. Good to see you. Rod, we got the freaking Rican, and I'm going to be seeing him at the end of March in person. Going to that MegaCon. Looking forward to seeing him and the rest of the Florida contingent of the comic book community in March. What is going on? Kyle, the promiscuous time traveler. I believe he's in the process of moving or has recently moved. I hope everything's going all right with that. I know moving is one of the most stressful things in life. Because I'm going to be taking pictures of them, I pulled out I have 3 other large magazine size graphic novels from that same era. I know that there's a ton that DC is producing now, but I love those OG early 80s ones. So first up, I've got Emperor Doom, starring the Mighty Avengers. This is a classic Doom book. If you're a fan of Dr. Doom, he's got a couple of really great large format graphic novels that are just absolutely awesome. So this was a really cool one. So I got that one for $4 back in the day. And I got Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment. This is a really cool one. Mike Mignola did the artwork on the inside of this, so you get some really great artwork. Look at his Mephisto looking all cool there, and Doom and Strange together. How do you go wrong with that? So this is a really good read. This is a really, and I believe they included this. I believe they included both of these in the recently released omnibus. There's a Doctor Doom omnibus. I think it's called like Age of Doom or something. And it's got a ton of great Doctor Doom stories, including these two graphic novels as well. So if you haven't read either one and you're a graphic novel or omnibus fan, maybe that's a way to go. You get some really great Doctor Doom related stories, like his first appearances and his origin issues. All the key Doctor Doom storylines are all in there. And Bobby knows what's up. Bobby knows that book. There it is. He knows what's going on. And then the last one I have is the one that most people want the most. And I don't even know what number it is. It's another Marvel graphic novel, but I don't know which issue number it is. But this is, of course, The Death of Captain Marvel by Jim Starlin. It's kind of like the Marvel graphic novel, the one, I think, for most people. And I believe this is a first print. I will double check that I got a first print. I'm not even 100% sure. I just wanted a copy of this way back when. Double check. Is this a first print? It's a second printing. I have a second print. But this is The Death of Captain Marvel. There's the sort of tragic, sad ending on the back there. So I have a second print of this one. I'm not a huge fan of the character Captain Marvel. Never been but I just knew that, historically, this is kind of a significant book. So I bought this one. Looks like this one cost me $9. Totally worth it. When it first was published, it cost $6. So not a huge price jump on this bad boy. So there you go. Like I said, you can check printings right on the inside of these books if you want to know, because Marvel tended to reprint these a bunch. They were pretty popular at the time. But that's going to be what I'm going to share later. I've got all of these beautiful Marvel hardcover or Marvel graphic novel, large format size, and I'm going to do that for my what does Fable call it? Throw your sets up Saturday. I'm going to throw that set up. So you guys got the sneak preview. I'm going to take pictures when we're all done here. All right. Got a little more tea drinking out of the skull of Groot there. The Death of Captain Marvel is a great introspection on death. I agree. And it historically has a lot of, I know a lot of big fans care a ton about that issue as being so seminal. I read a really cool book that I used for the thumbnail of this video. I read Tradd Moore's Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise, issue number 1. And this is a limited series that he's doing, and I'm not certain how many issues long it'll be. The reason I bought it, I'm not a huge Doctor Strange fan, but I loved what Tradd Moore did with the Silver Surfer Black series. I loved it so much that I thought, there's no way I was going to miss out on what he does with this Doctor Strange story. Currently in the comics, Doctor Strange is dead. And I think this is connected to that. This does seem like it's in continuity, and he is going through some sort of psychedelic journey here in space and time, which is perfect for that Tradd Moore art style, which I really like. And I know is somewhat, I don't want to say controversial, but certainly seems to rub different collectors different ways. I just think he does a wonderful job of not doing the normal, not doing the same thing everybody else is doing, and yet also really conveying the story and what's going on. I don't think there's any way to disconnect Tradd Moore from his work, because they're just so part and parcel. And I totally agree he is just a top flight talent. And knowing that he was going to write and draw this, I kind of felt like I wanted to be in from the jump on this. And I was very pleased by this. In fact, it was probably read of the week. There were some really good books. and I feel like he's a good fit for this story, as Gore is saying. Uh, but I also think he just nails it. He just does a really great job, and I'm excited to see kind of where he goes with this. I hope it gets the same treatment as the Silver Surfer Black, where they created this like large format version, like an extra large formatted version. So, anyways, I don't want to like bore you with it if you're not a huge Trad Moore fan. I don't even know where I put the bag and board. There it is. But I think it's absolutely worth your time if you have not tried it yet. It was very trippy, Nick. I totally agree. It was definitely the trippiest comic that I've read in a while, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I found myself and I'm not even a big like Doctor Strange fan, but I found, knowing that he's dead, I have read the Death of Doctor Strange miniseries, and I've been reading Strange Academy, of course. So I kind of know like where he is currently in his universe. Knowing that he was kind of dead, it kind of has the same feel of Silver Surfer Black, in that we saw the Silver Surfer go into a black hole, and then Tradmore and Donny Cates came in and they told this amazing story of what happened in the black hole. Now we've got Doctor Strange is dead, and I think we get Tradmore telling us the journey of Stephen Strange in death, and that's what I was all in on. That idea, that story. So if you haven't read it, I mean, my shop, this is a $4.99 book, but of course with my discount, and maybe your LCS is doing a Black Friday sale and new comics are cheaper, whatever. Definitely something I think you should give it a try if you like, even if you half like Tradmore. I think definitely worth the time. So that would probably be my read of this current week of comic books. I was a really good boy, read all my new, and have been to read through a bunch of graphic novels. I've been reading a ton lately. So just absolutely reading a ton. And it's almost all been Marvel Mutant related. I finished Uncanny X-Force. I'm halfway through Wolverine and the X-Men. I've been reading, which is both of those very, very enjoyable. Wolverine, Enemy of the State by Mark Millar and Romita Jr. I've been reading this for the first time, which is this is a 90s book, I think, maybe early 2000s. I had never read Enemy of the State. This has been fantastic. I've got like 3 issues left in that. So I've been catching up on a lot of Wolverine reads. I have never been a huge Wolverine fan. I like him a lot, but I know he's overused by Marvel, and so sometimes I get burned out on him. Same way I get burned out on Spider-Man or Batman or whatever. But people have been telling me, you haven't read this, you haven't read that. And key ones on the list were Jason Aaron's Wolverine and the X-Men, this book here, Enemy of the State, and then the Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender. People were like, you got to read, these are some of the best Wolverine stories. I was like, okay. So I gave those a shot, and I enjoyed all of them. People were correct. They knew what they were talking about. All right. I've got the rest of my books that I read this week right here, my little pile of reading material. And I think I'm mostly caught up here with y'all. Doing okay. I'm doing all right. My second favorite book that I read this week, and I'm an X-Men guy, so it's going to be the new issue of X-Men. I really love any of the issues that have anything to do with the Vault. So there's a really cool Big Will. Yeah, I was just talking a ton about Wolverine because I'm reading the Enemy of the State storyline by Mark Millar, and I've finished reading Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender, and I'm almost done with Wolverine and the X-Men. But any of the storylines having to do with the Vault, there's this like alien civilization that has been living inside of this pocket universe where they age differently, and because of that, their evolution is increased, and they are evolving at such a rate that they would be the dominant species on any universe where they were plunked down. And because of that, the X-Men have been trying to learn about them while at the same time containing them, because they're worried if they get out, they would just destroy Earth. So this pocket universe of the Vault was invaded by 3 X-Men who went in to investigate. They sent in Synch, who has the ability to change his powers based on who's around him, Darwin, who has the ability to evolve. He's actually in X-Men First Class. He's the guy that can grow gills and stuff. He can evolve based on what's happening around him and continue to survive. That's his like mutant ability. And then they sent in Laura Kinney's Wolverine, and they lived in this pocket universe for hundreds of years, surviving and hiding out and learning. And in the end, the only one to escape was Synch. And Laura Kinney died like right at the exit to the vault. Synch made it out and gave his whole account of what happened. He said Darwin got captured, they lost him, and he said Laura is dead. So they resurrected Laura without any of her memories. Darwin on the other, Synch on the other hand, had all of his memories of how he fell in love with Laura, and the two of them had this, centuries long romance inside of the vault. And they weren't able to reunite anymore because she doesn't have any memory of it, but he does. So this issue had to do with Forge, the mutant who can create things, right? Built a suit to travel secretly inside of the vault to Charwin. And instead he finds that Laura is still alive in the vault, and they've been keeping her alive, and she's continued to sort of age inside the vault. So he rescues her instead. So now we've got two Laura Kinney Wolverines that they brought out. They've got old woman Laura Kinney, and she does remember her whole love affair with Synch, and so the reunion in here was really beautiful the way they did it. They still haven't been able to bring Darwin out, but they did find him, and I don't want to spoil that because that was kind of the best part of the issue. But I love these issues with the vault because it raises so many interesting looks at evolution, so many interesting looks at trying to stop change from happening, because change has to happen in an environment, but they're trying to stop change from happening, and that never goes well. And I think Forge was used really well in this story. Synch, of course, Darwin, of course, and Laura Kinney really well used in these vault stories. And I think if you put all the vault stories together as like a mini series and just read it, anybody could read it and just be like, wow, that was really cool. But obviously they've kind of packed them in between other stuff, so it dilutes it a little when you read it that way. But I know people who have been big fans of the X-Men of late have really enjoyed this vault storyline whenever it comes up. And it looks like I'm not the only one reading it, because Nick says they resurrected her and gave her a stealth buff by coating her bones in adamantium instead of just her claws. That's the young one that's been still an important part of the X-Men universe. But now we've got two, because we got the old one and the young one, right? I'm a fan of Wolverine since, he kills Phoenix in the movie. That's a horrible movie. I'm just telling you. Horrible movie. Yeah. I feel like they've tried to do the story twice in movies, and it's been a flop both times because of bad writing. They just wrote some really bad stories. But I get what you were going for there. So yeah, if you're I don't know if they'll ever release all those vault issues in one set, but I've been obsessed with anything to do with that pocket universe and like what's going on in there. And I know it's kind of trippy and out there, but I love the way they use those key mutant characters, and yeah, very entertaining. It's so bad. It's so bad, right? Both of them, because they did another one later on, right? The Dark Phoenix, X-Men Dark Phoenix. That movie sucked too. Just so bad. All right, I'm done talking about mutants. Yay! You guys don't have to hear me talk about mutants for a little while. Let's do. I don't have a single DC book, so sorry, DC fans. I've got one more Marvel book though. I read Daredevil issue 5. Issue 4, you got Elektra and Matt Murdock getting married. They got married in some weird culty like scenario where they're like the king and queen of this new cult called the Fist. There's so many inappropriate jokes there. I can't even handle it. Don't worry, Kyle. The last 4 books or 5 books I got here are all indies, but they're mostly Image. So I don't know if you count Image as an indie. I know that most people don't. But yeah, they've got married. Matt and Elektra are married, and now they're like planning some epic war against Frank Castle's the Hand, right? Which is like the ninja clan that Elektra used to run with. So there's this like civil war coming between Matt and Elektra's fist and Frank Castle's hand, which sounds like a lot of weird body parts. I mean, who's the finger, right? Somebody's going to get the finger, right? So there you go. I'm not ever since this rebooted at issue number 1. I have not been loving the new era of Daredevil. But this was, I would say, the best one they've done so far. I don't know if that gives me hope or makes me just want to like, I'll read the rest digitally. I don't know. So that's where I am with Daredevil. Any of the stuff that Marco Cicchetto is doing the art for makes it a ton better. His artwork is phenomenal. I love Marco Cicchetto, and I'm probably saying his name wrong, but I do love his work. Really, really talented. I mean, that one's pretty bad. Unless you're like, sometimes there's fun in like a super cheesy bad comic book movie. Like I can love Batman Forever. Like I enjoy Batman Forever. It's super cheesy, but it owns it. Like it knows that it's cheesy and it owns it. Versus something like Dark Phoenix that is just cheesy and bad. Like it doesn't even know it's trying to be serious, but it's become cheesy. That's where you're like, what happened, right? I don't think Green Lantern knows that it's popcorn cheesiness. It just fell into that basket, you know? All right. Let's talk about Dark Ride from Image Comics. Not Dark Man. No. Dark Man is hilarious, but also really cool and emotional. There's some emotional kicks in there. So Dark Ride is like a queer look. No, sorry, queer is the wrong word. An unusual, odd look at theme parks. Specifically, it's got as you can tell by the font, it's got a Disneyland dark kind of comment here. The idea is that there's a theme park built around like Satanism or devil worship. Everything's demonic themed. And the people that are running it have been like inspired by the actual Dark Lord himself. There's some bizarre like stuff going on. So I read issue 1, and then today or the other day at my LCS, they were having like 50% off back issues. And I decided to grab issue number 2 as well. So this is by Joshua Williamson, and the art is by Bresson. Let's see, Andre Bresson. There's a bunch of fun nods to the stuff that goes on in and around Disneyland. They're not obviously saying anything like horrible about Disneyland, but they are commenting on like the history and nostalgia of theme parks, and then like the concept of like, you know, losing your soul to business, which I think is an interesting look at, you know, capitalism and what it does to people sometimes. And so this is an interesting read in that way. So I've read the first 2 issues and I definitely liked them. I don't know if I'm going to keep up with it. I think I'd probably prefer to read it as a trade when it's all said and done. But I do especially love, they've got some great theme park poster variants. And I don't know if Kyle has seen any of those or if any of you have, but they basically do like the Disneyland font, right? And then like those old school poster for theme park attractions that they used to do back in the day, that Disneyland used to do, and it's for various rides at the park. It's really interesting, you know. Let's see here. The Killing Jokes theme park is probably the most sinister in comics. This one might have it beat. I mean, people are getting like disemboweled and like chopped up and eaten, and like this is a very graphic, not for kids book. Lost my soul to dance. I mean, I get it, right? The rhythm is gonna get you, Kyle. The rhythm is going to get you. But really, I think for some people that either have a bunch of like, you know, twisted Disney interest, like this could really like be the right thing for you. And Joshua Williams is a really talented writer, so worth the time. And I'm 2 issues in. I don't think I'm going to buy the rest single issue. I might just get the trade at the end. And next up is the one everybody's been talking. Hey, look, there's my man Paul. And I'm sorry, Black Adam is right there. I talked about it at the top of the show. This was a gift from my man Cook. Look, 3 graphic novels and an awesome hardcover slipcase. all from this guy right here. So I've got some awesome reading to do. And I said, Paul, that I'm probably going to read them all and then send this out. I want to send this. You gave this to me. I want to give this off to somebody else. So I'm going to try to read these as soon as possible because I really want to. I've never read any Black Adam comics. I've read Shazam. In fact, I've read this Shazam volume 1 of Jeff Johns' run. Really, really good. Kind of the inspiration, more or less, for the movie that we got. But I haven't read these Black Adam books, so I'm very excited for some of these: the Rise and Fall of Empire, and then Black Rain from the this is the JSA, right? Yeah, the JSA Black Adam. Very excited to read this later. So that's going right there. There's Black Adam right there. So yeah, if you haven't seen those fun homages, basically to the World's Fair kind of rides or the early Disneyland rides, they're really great covers for that. Next up is 8 Billion Genies. I know everybody's been in love with this series, and I read the first 5 issues story arc and really, really enjoyed it. I thought I would give issue 6 just a try, but I think I'm going to probably read from here on out and trade. I hear that they're going to do like 3 story arcs, and then that's going to be the story as a whole, the whole entire 8 Billion Genies universe or whatever. This was a solid new issue. I just don't know that I'm ready to expand the universe so much. I really did enjoy, and part of me really wanted the story to end at issue 5. So maybe that's just my expectation versus the reality of what the story is going to be. So I was, the only thing I didn't like about those first 5 is that it didn't wrap it all up, but instead sort of opened the world up a little bit for the next story arc, which I don't know that that's a fair criticism. I don't think that that's a fair reason to dislike it. Right. I mean, it was still really good. It wasn't bad. I just didn't want more. I wanted it to end. I wanted a really tight, concise ending. Yeah, I agree. Charles Soule has done a really great job with that. And I'm super happy that he's getting a ton of praise and notice for the talent that he is. Because I know his Daredevil run was super well received, and I enjoyed that a ton. Really talented guy, Charles Soule. And I don't know Ryan Brown, the artist, but I just really am pleased that they're getting a little notice. The same feeling about Radiant Black. It blew into this huge universe. And same with We Live, I guess, maybe the same way. I wanted it to end. I wanted an ending. And I kind of like Little Bird gave us an ending. And if they give us a part 2, which I think they're going to do, at least I can still be happy that the first volume ended. You know what I mean? But 8 Billion Genies is going to go for a while, I have a feeling. And Radiant Black obviously has spun into this huge connected universe with all these other titles involved. And I'm way out of the loop on that one. Although I do have the first trade. I need to read the first volume. I have the first trade I got to read. I got 2 more here. This one is from 2 weeks ago, but this continues to just be a really great comic. And I think there's just one issue left. Issue 7, I think, comes out here in December. And Powerbomb. I mean, I don't know what to say that hasn't been said about Daniel Warren Johnson, the artist and writer for Murder Falcon right here, for Wonder Woman Dead Earth, Beta Ray Bill. I mean, the guy is incredibly talented, and you should just check out his stuff. I think you would not be disappointed. If you don't cry reading Murder Falcon, you're dead inside. You're dead inside. That book is a tear-jerking masterpiece. And this one looks like it's going to be on the same pace. I'm very curious how issue 7 is going to go. So this was from 2 weeks ago, but I always save Powerbomb a little late because I know that it's going to be so special, So Powerbomb, really great. It's going to be on a lot of people's best of the year. Because it'll wrap so before the year's out. So 7 issues, totally worth your time. Most shops will have them. They're not being like spec'd on, so they're not like the hot spec book. Nobody's going to be like hiding these. It's possible your shop would run out of them because it's popular. It's not because the book price shouldn't jump on you. You might be able to go into your shop for Black Friday and get all 6 issues that have been published so far and really enjoy. Do a power bomb. And I'm not a wrestling fan. I'm as far from a wrestling fan as you can imagine. And I still really enjoy it. So absolutely great. Let's see here. Little Bird. I'm glad people still remember and love Little Bird. I have the nice large sized hardcover for that really just a special read. Nick knows what's up. What's going on, Nick? Hydra Collectibles. Luke is in the chat. Good to see you, sir. You're not late because it's probably pretty evening-ish time for you over there. It's probably dinner time for you over there. Nick says, do a Powerbomb top 5. I mean, it's going to be on a lot of lists in that way, I think, right? Have I ever read Bomb Queen? I have not. Who's the team behind that one? Sorry. Dude is still number 1 for me. This Duel. I don't think I've heard of what publisher was Duel. I don't know that one. And I totally agree on this. Yeah, it hits on so many levels, so many emotional levels, and then visually, it gives you all of those like wrestling thrills. If you love wrestling, you're gonna love that. All the crazy jumps and moves. I think Daniel Warren Johnson has this like really over the top style, and it works for like heavy metal. It works for like post-apocalyptic future in Dead Earth with Wonder Woman. It worked in like psychedelic outer space for Beta Ray Bill, and it works with wrestling here. He has this just way over the top, style that's, I think, hilarious and so fun. Let's see. I watched Wednesday on Netflix. Recommend. I'm hearing really good things. The only reason I kept away from it, I really can't see the two actors playing Morticia and Gomez as those characters. Maybe it's just because we got so spoiled by Angelica Houston and Raul Julia, who I love. I love Raul Julia and I love Angelica Houston, and they're phenomenal in those parts. And I can't imagine anybody else doing it. Least of all, Catherine Zeta-Jones and is it Gomez? What's the guy playing Gomez? I can't remember. But those two put me off of the show. Seeing those two in the cast, I was like, what? But I mean, I hear they're a small part, and it's mostly focused on Wednesday, and that it's amazing. I hear it's really, really good. I just acquired The Little River and read it. It's amazing, right? It's a great comic, but you can't skim it, right? You got to really get into that universe. Jimmy Robinson. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that, Big Will. Thanks for the recommendation. Kevin says his wife is watching Wednesday, and it's really good. There you go. Bliss on tap. So there you go. Do a power bomb, which leaves me one last indie, and I'm almost at the 1 hour mark, so I think we're right where we need to be. Speaking of post-apocalyptic, we got Once Upon a Time at the End of the World by writer Jason Aaron. And I'm a big Jason Aaron fan. I tend to read most of the stuff he does at some point or another. It all started with Scalped for me back in the day, and when he was doing Vertigo stuff. And I'm currently trying to finish his Wolverine the X-Men, which I never read. So this is an unusual post-apocalyptic love story in a weird kind of way. Artist is Alexandre Tefenki. And you got all the like tools of the future. So in the story, we meet this young lady, and she's like traveling through the wasteland, trying to find something on her way somewhere. We don't quite know. And she stumbles upon this young guy, and he is kind of running an outpost at the edge of the world. And his parents have vanished or have died, and he's all on his own. And he's been living in this building where he has been able to stockpile food and supplies, but he has not really had any interaction with people. The idea is he has been closed off for all this time. She has been out in the world. Their experiences are very different, but their human nature is what's really taking over between the two of them. I thought this was a cute book. I don't know that I want to read every single issue. Here are the two characters, by the way. They do these little character profiles on the two of them. That's her, Mezzi or Esmeralda. And there's Maceo, something like that. So I think it would read really well in trade. So I might try checking it out that way. But I'm glad I got issue 1 just to get a sense of the story and the characters, because I do think it's a very interesting universe. But it might also be that I'm burnt out on post-apocalyptic stories. I think everybody's doing those these days. I kind of want something a little different. And this is not different enough yet. But but I'm very interested to see kind of where it goes. So I'll probably read it as a trade. And this is from Boom Studios. And that's it. Those are all my new books, man. The books I bought, the books that Kate's going to get, the books I was given as awesome gifts, and the books I've been reading. That's all my stuff, man. That's everything. I think everybody's probably still asleep in my house, which gives me time to put everything away and clean up and put Kate's present out somewhere so that she can open it tomorrow for her birthday. And that's it. That's it, my guys and my gals. And next week, I'm on No Good Comics on Tuesday night for Omni X-Men, and we're reading issue 159, if I'm not mistaken. Uncanny X-Men. Let me double check. Okay. I did 158. Yes, he's doing 159. And then I'm going to be on Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow night, even though it's Kate's birthday. We'll be on Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, what's up, Justin? No Good Comics is here. He was texting me during the show, but I didn't check any of those texts. I ignored you. I'm doing the show. So those are my two big shows going on this week. One on JP's channel and one on that guy, No Good Comics channel. I don't think I got anything else going on this week as far as shows. I got a lot of things going on with work over the next couple of weeks. Just, holiday performances and, holiday fairs and things going on this time of year. Lots of things at school during the holidays. So I try to scale back a little, but in a couple of weeks, that'll all be done. And I'll be back to the normal schedule, a little more free to do those kinds of things. So that is pretty much it, my gang. Thanks for hanging and hitting the like button or talking in the chat. I appreciate all of that. And I'm gonna go and get the rest of my day done. I'm gonna finish off Enemy of the State. I'm gonna probably start some Black Adam reading. I got some books there that I got to read for Black Adam, and have a nice weekend with the family. I know we're doing a little Thanksgiving feast just at our house, the four of us tonight. And then tomorrow is Kate's birthday. So we got a little feast hangout day the next couple of days. I hope you are enjoying a little family, some freedom, and some comics over the next few days. And I'll see you all back here again next Saturday. Bye, everybody.